What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Mr. Cincinnati, and as always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, who made it here just in the nick of time for us to go live. Buddy, how we feeling today?
I made it. I made it. Let's just say that. And I'm here.
It's okay. It's okay. You're looking chipper. That's all that matters.
I'm always chipper.
Yeah. No,
Just not jealous.
it's good to see you. Welcome back, everybody. This is our last show of the week, episode 182. We're getting closer and closer and closer to episode 200. So, be on the lookout for some cool content from the Wrestling Junkies podcast. As always, hit that QR code in the top left corner. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. If you know just one person who would enjoy this podcast, please do us a favor and share it with them. We are trying to grow this community, and we're trying to do it in a very positive manner. So everybody that comes in and supports us, we thank you so very much for joining us. And Kyle, I agree, he's not. I mean, yeah, he's always chipper, but I digress. In addition to our social media channels, make sure to support our merch store as well. We do have t-shirts, we have tanks, we have hats, or beanies, not hats. I do it every time. I know.
We don't have
hats. At this point, I feel like I just need to keep saying hats, but not beanies, just to, mess with you. But last but not least, as always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year, and we need your help to do that. And if you need some WWE merch, like this brand new Wyatt 6 t-shirt, make sure to use our QR code for WWE shop. Make sure that you get your merchandise. Everything that we earn helps us to reinvest into this podcast. So this is a labor of love that we need your help to continue to support. So without further ado, we have a special guest joining us tonight. He is a past guest on our show. If you've not had a chance to check out our initial interview with him, do so in our archives on our YouTube channel. But he is a UK standout wrestler. He is here helping us to celebrate Pride Month. Please welcome Adam Bolt back to the show. Adam, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. He's chipper.
We're still there. Woke up today, so I can't be mad.
Yeah. No, that's certainly all that matters. But Adam, welcome back. I know it's been a few months since we've had you on the show.
Yes.
Just catch us up. What's been going on with you?
Oh, it's been a long time. It feels like it. Just a lot more busy than I think the last time. I can't remember exactly what month it was that I was last on, to be honest. But yeah, I'm just getting busier and busier. This summer is looking really busy. So it's all on the up. It's getting better, a lot better. So I can't complain.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I think it was probably January or February that we had you on. I know it's still pretty damn cold out over here in the States.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. So just for those that may not have gotten a chance to check out your interview, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into wrestling, and what makes you tick in the world.
Yeah, so in terms of my starting wrestling, I started training in 2018. I had my first debut about 2 months after, I think. So I'm about 6 years in now, including lockdown, if you do count that. I've just mainly, I mean, it's all been UK based at the minute, but I'm getting to a point now where I'm having talks like outside of the UK, like obviously the States is where I want to go. Trying my hardest to make that happen. I maybe set myself a goal that's too big, saying I want to do it this year. I mean, we're halfway in, so but if you don't shoot your shot, you don't get. So I'm trying to get out there more, especially out of the UK. Like I've been up and down the UK. There's still a lot of places I haven't worked in the UK, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm targeting the States now. Like it's never too early, do you know what I mean? So
Absolutely, yeah.
So minus the States, is there any other in Europe that you're looking at trying to get to?
Yeah. So obviously anywhere in Europe. I mean, there's a lot of people that I'm starting to notice that there is more people doing more stuff outside of the UK, especially in the last couple of years. So in a lot of European countries, not just the States, like you say. So I just want the experience of just anywhere, really. Just getting out there as much as I can. Because it is nice to travel like the UK. Don't get me wrong, but the more it's like the same culture, if you know what I mean. So like it can only benefit you more with like different countries, different cultures, different people. So yeah, there's nowhere in particular. I'm anywhere and everywhere for me.
So I think we talked about it last time, and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, about what that scene kind of looks like over there. how is that, or has it changed with WWE doing all of these international PLEs? Are you seeing a bigger boom in interest in wrestling over there since WWE's doing so many international shows now?
Yeah, I do think. I think because WWE is the number one in terms of like global leader, I feel like whatever they do, it has a knock on effect like down the chain sort of thing. So like because WWE is having like another boom period, you could say, with like you know since Triple H took over and it's just gained a lot more interest and there's a lot more mainstream interest in it as well. It's having a knock on effect like down to us. So it's like in the UK, for example, things like Clash at the Castle being in Scotland, you just see the amount of shows double because you know you've got a lot of people in one area at one time. So I know there was a lot going off in, say, Glasgow, for example. I didn't go to Clash at the Castle this time, but when it was in Wales, the last time I was there, and the amount of wrestling going off, or just like the excitement, it's like wrestling's like the word on everyone's mouth. So it benefits everybody, it really does. But yeah, definitely seeing a lot more shows and things like that going off because of it, and it is gaining more interest, like I say. So
Nice.
Yeah. So as we're kind of looking at summertime in the UK, tell us kind of what's been going on as far as locally for you, as far as the promotions kind of in your immediate area. What is everybody getting excited about right now?
I think at the minute, obviously with it being June, a lot of the Pride shows are happening or coming up, and it's an exciting time for us all. Don't get me wrong, it's just, but for me, it's more because we get that one show where we get to showcase what we can do, and it kind of is representing Pride, but it's kind of like you don't want it to become like your pigeonholed sort of thing. So it's like it's not a Pride division. It's more, rather than let's book all these wrestlers who are LGBT. It's more like let's celebrate the wrestlers we already have who are LGBT. So I do work True Grit, which is based in around Leeds and York area of the UK. They're having their first Pride show and crowning their first Pride champion in July.
Nice.
And then the week after, I'm at WAW in Norwich, where I'm obviously their first and the UK's first Pride champion there. So even them, Norwich and WAW doing crowning their Pride champion last year, that's had a knock-on effect this year. And True Grit have took inspiration from that, I would like to think, and they're doing the same. So it's just exciting times because my June and July, I mean, it's not just Pride stuff either. It's just summer's always exciting in wrestling. So, I mean, the weather helps for one, especially over here. So,
Yeah.
it's busy June and July for me, definitely.
So let's talk about winning that Pride Championship. What does that mean to you, and how did that feel being crowned the first ever Pride Champion?
It's still a bit like of a weird feeling to me
Yeah.
because not only because it's like two part of my life that I never thought would cross coming together. So, my personal life, being LGBT for one, and then I never thought I would ever get to a point of just being okay to be open about that. And then the fact that I'm celebrating it in a ring on a show that is dedicated to that. And then not only that, you heighten that by that show is also run by the Knight family, who you don't really need to say much more.
Yeah.
And then it heightened even more the fact that it's the first Pride title, not only there, but in the UK. And then even more the fact that I'm winning it. Like, it was just like, the pressure just kept going up and up and up. And it was just like, oh. But looking back now, I feel like at the time I didn't enjoy it until it was done. And I was like, yeah, I've just done something. Like, But like now looking back, I think it's one of the best days of my life. Like, I do have to admit, just what it meant. And I feel like I didn't realize how much it meant me until after, when I saw what it did for other people as well. Because I don't really get stuck in there. Oh, like me. I'm just more like, I use a lot of my platform I have to like help people that need it, because I don't need it anymore. So to see what impact it had on other people, and that people see me in some way it's kind of like I still have to like pinch myself. People see me in some ways like any kind of inspiration of helping them. Like, I can't ask for anything more than that, really.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we've definitely seen the progress you've been making. Again, since the last time you were on the show earlier this year, you really stepped up with the diet, the exercise, training regimen. All of that. It seems like is kind of all coming to a head and creating this it's kind of peak summer for you right now. And it's good that you're using your platform to be able to show that this is something that people can do, and that live your life how you want to live. So I certainly applaud that message, hands down.
Thank you.
But let's get on into our main topics of the evening, gentlemen. AEW Dynamite is in the books, and had a few things to talk about. It's funny that you mentioned the Knight family, because Saraya made her return contract signing with Timeless Tony Storm, and I always mispronounce her name, Mina
Shirakawa.
Mina Shirakawa. Mariah May moderating this segment. Podcast Ed, I'm going to start off with you on this one. What did you think of this, since we're about 10 days out from Forbidden Door?
I don't know. It kind of feels like I don't know what they're trying to set up. It kind of feels like Mariah May is going to split up from one of the two, but now we have the Saraya involvement with Anna Jay,
Harley Cameron, yeah,
and Harley Cameron, and it's just kind of like, are we leading now to a 6-woman tag match at All In? Is that what we're kind of building towards? I don't know. I'm just it's confused, I think, is the best word I can use right now. Yeah. Like I don't know what this is setting up, and that's okay. Maybe we don't get that, it'd be weird, I think, to not get a women's title match at All In, but maybe they turn it into a 4-way or a 6-pack challenge or something like that. I'm not sure. I know we had a 4-way last year for the women's title, so I don't know if they want to do that again, but
yeah.
Hey, I'm interested. I'm just kind of confused on the direction.
Yeah, and much as Mr. OTM says, make sure to check out their show tonight. They're celebrating episode 200. Congratulations, boys. Wow. It's a love triangle, of course, but the back and forth on Dynamite was essentially chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. It definitely was. But Adam, I kind of want to get your perspective on this as somebody that's in the ring. As far as the directions that you're given, as far as the story you're trying to tell. Is there any forethought into whether it should be intentionally murky for the audience to try to decipher what's going on? Is that something that you see promotions actually intentionally do, or can we get your take on that?
Yeah, so it's a hard one, because I feel like I am very good at separating myself and enjoying wrestling as a fan to keep that love for it still there. So when I take myself out of the wrestler and I just watch wrestling as a fan, I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm one of them people that needs to know what's going off, but yet in a weird way, when you know what's going off in wrestling, it makes it, you kind of like, oh, it's less exciting. Yeah. So you can't win sometimes. But watching it, it's like I'm kind of intrigued. Like I feel like, especially in the last couple of years, with things that have changed, not just in AEW but across the board, I feel like fans are adjusting right now to learning to just be patient and see how things play out. And some people are okay with it, some people aren't. But just as somebody that's been that, I personally, when I enjoy it more when I'm given a job or a role within a promotion where we're leaving breadcrumbs, but we're not going all out with this is where we're going. I prefer it. I like messing with people. I do. Yeah. I've got to admit, I love it. When I've got fans that are coming up to me being like, so what's this then? What does this mean? And I'm just like, don't know. When really I do know. So I love it. But that's just the heel in me talking. I love mind games. I love it. So I'm for it, mate. I don't know what's gonna go off. I watched it. I caught up on it, and I was just like, oh. So I was kind of the same. I was like, what does this mean for All In? Is there a championship match? Is there not? So yeah. But I'm here for it, me. I'm enjoying it.
So. And let's talk more confusion. Let's talk about MJF.
Okay.
So it got announced, I want to say, was it today or yesterday, his match at Forbidden Door?
Yes.
And it's not Rush?
It is not Rush, no.
And have you seen the reports why it's not Rush?
That I have not seen, no.
So apparently CMLL will not allow Roosh to be on that show.
Is that because Pence is on the show?
I don't know.
Oh.
Again, I'm confused again. So MJF is now going to. I'm trying to pull it up. I apologize. I should have had it up. But
yeah, I forget how to pronounce his name. I know it starts with an H. Yeah.
Yes, that guy. Hensero. I'm not Spanish. I'm not at all Spanish. I don't speak it at all.
You, but I'm English with names as well. So.
But you know, it's. Is this the right use of MJF on that card? Like, if you were going to build a feud with MJF for his return, why wouldn't you make sure that it's somebody that could actually be on the card and have a big match? Like you said, we're like a week or so away, and they're going to have to do kind of a week or so build to this.
And that's all the segment was, is he made the save for Daniel Garcia once, Gates of Agony and Brian Cage and everybody, got involved.
I don't know. We've talked about Forbidden Door and how cool it is, but now we're kind of. So are you, Kyle. You're whiter than me. Relax. Like we had it last year with Tanahashi and MJF, where it was kind of like this is random, and now we have this one that's kind of random. It's almost like Forbidden Door is starting to turn into a Worlds Collide thing, and maybe we shouldn't do storylines on the show, but we are still doing storylines on the show. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around what they want Forbidden Door to be, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, and I don't know how many times we've broken this down on the show, but sometimes with AEW, we're just going to get matches to get matches. I jokingly called them the video game promotion, because that's sometimes what it feels like, is you're just seeing something that you would do in a 2K universe or anything like that. But it's I'm okay with that. The big story is the Ospreay Swerve, and we'll get into that segment in a little bit here. But I think probably the larger story is the Owen Tournament matches, because we know that is the path for two people to Wembley in a championship match. And this is a very good question from Mr. OTM. And Adam, I'll let you take this one. Scale of 1 to 10, how excited are we for Forbidden Door? He's at about a 2 right now.
Yeah, I'd have to go look at the card again, but we say that all the time, that maybe the build to the pay-per-view is not great, but then the pay-per-view is amazing. So I'm going to say, sure, my interest level right now is not that great. Am I going to watch and be like, holy shit, that was a great show? Probably.
Yeah. Adam, what say you?
So, I think, because we're all different, aren't we? We watch wrestling for different reasons. Some people will watch shows that are just like, here's a match, and they'll love it because they just want to see great wrestling. And people get me mixed up a lot, just in a wrestling sense, with being able to do the athletic stuff. But I care more about wrestling when it's story driven and when there's something to care about, like the real emotion of it. So when I'm the same with being confused over the build, and I feel like a lot of the time in wrestling, it's like you can forgive a not so great build as long as the payoff is great. And just going back to the point with MJF, it's with how long this has felt like it's gone off with with him leaving, coming back, the return, I have to be honest now, I'm a bit like, oh, is this it? It's not a bad thing. It's just it's like you would when the more time goes into something, the more bigger a payoff you expect. Example being Cody winning the title at WrestleMania, right? That had to be the ending. So I get it. Excitement levels for me, I'm not 100% sure. I feel like I'm probably about midway, because I know the show will probably be great, but I'm the same in sense of I don't know what they want Forbidden Door to be at the minute. Is it just like you said, like a Worlds Collide sort of thing, where it's just here's some matches that you wouldn't normally see, or is it storyline as well? It is a bit confusing. So I do get it.
Sure.
And for MJF, for me, why wouldn't he be trying to take out, what are they called? What's the group?
Gates of Agony?
No, the group that took him out.
Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah, say Adam Cole's not cleared. Okay,
just
Adam
go
Cole's
one by
not cleared.
one. Yeah.
Why wouldn't he be trying to take these guys out? That one for me, logically, I know, wrestling logic, I know. But logically, like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it make more sense for him to have a match with Roderick Strong, have a match with Wardlow, try to take these guys out that cost him his championship? Like, that's where I'm confused on what the booking is for MJF right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the answer to that is much simpler than we're all thinking. That story belongs with the White Hummer. I don't at this point, I don't need a payoff for that. They've had every opportunity to do it, and they worked with what they had, given the Adam Cole injury, the delays and setbacks. I don't want to see him with Undisputed Kingdom. I have no interest in it whatsoever. And it's at this point, he's re-signed, he's well paid. Yeah. I say Renegade MJF is probably the move right now. Just let him do whatever the hell he wants.
I guess. Sure.
But I think so far we have Chris Statlander, I believe, has advanced in the women's tournament. And I don't remember who won between Claudio and Pac. So if either of you guys... okay. Yeah, I like the bracket so far. I hate that the online discourse is, why is Jeff Jarrett in this tournament? Because
I saw that. Like,
yeah.
Do your research, people. Like, yeah. Do we realize how much Owen meant to Jeff Jarrett? Like, shut up. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Like, do your research.
Oh.
Jeez.
But I mean, the segment of the night, I think by a mile, Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay, coming face to face, almost coming to blows too. Started out as a relatively professional tete-a-tete, and things devolved very, very quickly into a shoving match. Adam, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of the segment?
So, I had to watch it again earlier, just to, and what I will say is, being a wrestler, being involved in the matches, the planning, the backstage, all of that, being involved in all of it, I really appreciate it when somebody or something, and it's happened a few times on shows when I've finished whatever I'm doing and I'm watching somebody else, when somebody can take me out of the wrestling mindset and make me feel something still as somebody who is part of that. So what I'm saying is, I love wrestling when it feels its most real, because of, like, I believe what they're saying, and those two, like, everything they said I believed. Like, I'm sat there and I'm like,
yeah,
it just make, like, for one, it's going to be a great match anyway, but and then the fact that they just had that it didn't go overboard, but it was like a bit of hint of, like, it getting personal. It's like, it just adds another layer onto it. So it's kind of not just one of them, oh, here's a match, like, just watch this, pay for this match, that's it. But it's like, there's that interest there as well. So, like, I thought, I really liked it. Like, and the thing is about Will as well, is I will say about Will is, people that don't follow Will religiously but know of him pigeonhole him in terms of being the best wrestler, but because of the sort of matches he put on. But look at his promos, like,
yes,
he can talk. Obviously, nobody needs me to say that. He's Will Ospreay, but it's like, people seem shocked by it almost. I've seen a bit online that, like, oh, that was great. It's like, well, yeah, of course it was. Like, he's Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Like, it's more than just a great match or, like, flips and stuff. Like, I can't stand stuff like that. But, like, people seem surprised by how both of them are put on this, just garnered all this interest in, like, a short promo. And I'm sat here like, well, I'm not surprised. It's Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Like,
yeah.
So yeah.
No, podcast dead.
His promo skills are great. Like you said, why are people surprised at that? Like,
yeah,
I don't. It's not. It was never like, oh, he's just a fantastic wrestler and can't cut a promo. Because when was the last time you saw Will Ospreay with a manager? You haven't, because he can talk. Like, he doesn't need it. So the promo thing, that's pretty obvious. And we said it yesterday. Like, this is gonna be a good match, and they're having a good build. The concern is, how's it going to end? Like, they have their two biggest stars going at it at Forbidden Door, which is probably not their biggest pay-per-view, but...
No. Well, Wrestle Dream is probably smaller, but yeah, they're kind of in that same...
Yeah, but it's like, how are... I have this suspicious feeling that this is going to end in some kind of weird finish that we're not going to like. It's going to divide the internet, which I think it's going to anyway, no matter what the outcome is. But I don't know how. I don't know how this is going to end. Like, do you want to beat Swerve already? Do you want to beat Will Ospreay already? I don't know. And that's pulling me in. I want to see what happens. Even if I am maybe going to be disappointed at the end, I do want to see what happens, and then obviously it's going to be a great match, but I want to see how they book this.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's the thing is because, I mean, Ospreay is undefeated, as far as his full-time AEW run. That's absolutely true. But is it really the worst thing in the world if he takes a loss to the reigning AEW World Champion?
Then why give him the other title?
That's a Tony Khan question. But hey, sorry, Adam, go ahead.
No, I just the Tony Khan question just got me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I do actually want to get you guys' opinions on this, just because this is making its way around the rumor mill since we're talking AEW.
Don't even bring it up.
It's worth.
Don't even bring it up.
It's
no,
worth
it's
the
not.
fantasy booking. Don't you do that?
No, it's not. I know exactly what you're going to say.
I know that
do
you
not
do.
say it.
Well, I'm going to say it anyway, okay? All right, I'm going to say it anyway. We're just going to talk about it really quickly. Conrad Thompson on Grilling JR this week, saying that Shane McMahon indirectly put out feelers about the hypothetical possibility of joining AEW. I also imagine that this is more smoke than fire, but this is the first time we've really heard anything from Shane McMahon since his quad went and turned heel on him at WrestleMania last year. So, gentlemen, I just want to ask, what do we think about the fact that this is a story in the news mill this week, Adam?
Nothing in wrestling surprises me anymore. Like, it's like you hear something in the back end of 2023 and you think, do you know what? And you think nothing surprises me anymore. And then you get to 2024 and something surprises you. Like, imagine in 2019 or around the time when AEW first started, imagine if you got told anybody with the last name McMahon would show up in AEW. It'd be like, yeah. And it has to be Shane as well, the same person who showed up on Nitro. Like, come on. Like, this is a bit... I don't know. I've got personally it doesn't do anything for me. I just think it's just of course, it's just more to get the talking because his last name is McMahon and he's showing up there. It's like, but I'm just I'm not surprised. I saw it and I was like, of course. But,
yeah. Ultimately, I mean, I don't necessarily see it happening either, but it does perk the ears up a little bit when you see those reports, but it is what it is. But we're about out of time for today. Adam,
don't do it, Tony.
What?
That's what I'm going to say. Don't do it, Tony. You let one McMahon in the company, another one's going to weasel his way in. Don't do it.
There is that as well. That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not actually, yeah.
Do not do it. That's all I got to say.
Jesus. All right. Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure to hang out with you, especially to wrap up the week. Adam, thank you so much for joining us as we continue to celebrate Pride, man. So where can everybody find you on social media, and what matches, events, appearances do you have coming up?
Yeah, thank you for having me first. So on X, it's just Adam Bolt _ Instagram's Adam Bolt Wrestler. I'm posting a lot more on TikTok these days as well, which is the same. It's just Adam Bolt Wrestler. I've got quite a lot of things come up in July. I mentioned there's a True Grit. They're doing their first Pride show. That's in July, and then the following week I'm rubbish with dates. Sorry, but it's all over their socials. WAW have their third Pride show. I'm defending the Pride title there. And then there's a lot of other promotions, but them two specifically, I know their shows will be up on YouTube and things like that. So if you can't, obviously, for those that aren't in the UK, you should be able to check them out. If you keep an eye on their socials, you'll be able to watch any of the shows back on YouTube. I imagine they both do hit. So yeah.
Awesome.
Good month.
We'll love it. We appreciate you coming back on. Don't be a stranger. I know that you're a bit of a night owl these days. But best of luck this summer. Enjoy Pride, have some fun, and yeah, thank you to everybody that checked out our episode tonight. Make sure, as always, to hit our socials QR code up there in the top left corner. And again, if you know one person that would enjoy this podcast, please share it with them as we try to grow this community and do it in a positive way. If you do need some new merch, WWE Shop, hit that QR code and use our link, that brand new Austin 316 shirt of the podcast dad. I gotta say, I'm very proud of you. These that you've had some great shirts this week. I'm impressed.
We got a sponsor, of course. I'm breaking out the good shirts. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to pay you a compliment to end the week. I do have one final question for you, though, and this is specifically from MJB. What? Okay.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to the question,
yes.
Will you plug my appearance tonight, please?
Absolutely. Don't miss the podcast, Dad, on Wrestling Spotlight on Local Now. Download the Local Now app. Wrestling Spotlight is a great channel with nothing but independent wrestling content. You can also find old Junkies episodes and interviews, not just in our archives, but on Local Now as well. Chris, give them hell. You know, I know that you're going to have a good time talking with Gerald.
I will.
And
all right, let's get to this question. Come on.
I was told to ask you, who is the greatest living center fielder after the best ever died this week?
Oh man, greatest.
And I was also told to tell you.
Fielder?
Yeah, I was also told to tell you that there's only one answer and that you should know it.
Give me the kid. Give me the kid. He'll know what it means. You
yep,
don't.
That's exact. Yeah. So
give me the kid.
That's what I thought, but I will let you elaborate to the rest of our audience and Adam since he's across the pond.
Yeah, that's Ken. That's Ken Griffey Jr. He's.
Yep.
Yeah,
fellow Cincinnatian.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do it here, but yeah,
I
he
know,
did it in
but
Seattle.
that doesn't mean okay. He went to Moeller. All right.
This is not a baseball podcast, so let's not get crazy.
Maybe
I can start a new podcast with MJB. Baseball Junkies. Ooh, I like it.
There you go. And even Mr. OTM said it, so yeah, it must be true. But that's going to do it for us this week. Adam, just stick around for one quick second after we wrap up here, but we appreciate everybody that had the chance to join us tonight. We will be back on Monday. We've got some great guests lined up. We've got Jared Diaz joining us this Monday. We've got an interview coming up next week with wrestling commentator Jordan Castle that we're excited about. And former guest Logan Knight returns to the show. So cannot wait to have all these great conversations with people. But that's going to do it for us today. So thank you guys so much for joining us. For Adam Bolt, for the podcast, I'm Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast. And we'll talk to you guys next week.